Chapter 2. A reunion that came without warning and no one could have expected. Many years had passed. Grace was at a banquet, leisurely choosing a few pieces of cake for her plate when a voice rang out from behind, halting her movement. "Isn't this Grace?" She turned, expecting to see someone else, but it was in fact a once familiar figure who had long since become a stranger. The voice carried disdain, as if intentionally meant to provoke. "Do you still remember me? It's Sophia." "Ah, so it's you," Grace answered with a graceful smile, her tone calm but sharp enough to counter Sophia's arrogance. "Forgive me for forgetting you. After all, you never left much of an impression." It had been 4 years since they last saw each other, yet Grace wasted no time striking first. Sophia forced a smile, masking her irritation with feigned concern. "It's been 4 years already. Have you been doing well?" But her real intention was to pry into Grace's life, to see how she had fared after Sophia stole Ethan away. "As you can see," Grace replied proudly, "I'm still beautiful, full of life, and overflowing with energy." Her voice carried pride, unyielding and sharp. For someone as lowly as Sophia, she would never humble herself, much less allow contempt. "And you, how's life as a patient? Must be fun, right? Honestly, I admire your stubbornness. With such a dangerous illness, I thought you would have been gone by now." The words were ruthless, leaving Sophia fuming. But before she could strike back, Grace's attention had already shifted. Grace was waving towards several elegant ladies seated at the center of the hall. "Excuse me," she told Sophia politely. "My friends are waiting for me." With poise and elegance, Grace turned, her gown flowing as she walked toward the distinguished group. "Friends?" Sophia frowned. She had just recognized the woman who waved to Grace. It was none other than the hostess of tonight's party, the wife of a wealthy magnate. How could Grace, a girl of humble background, possibly know such a powerful woman? Convinced Grace was putting on an act, Sophia followed, determined to expose her. "Good evening, madam," Sophia greeted with a sugary tone, bowing before her wealthy client. "I'm honored to be among your guests tonight." The hostess smiled warmly, and Sophia felt triumphant, convinced Grace was watching. "Madam, may I join you here?" she asked sweetly. "Of course, please sit." The kind response was nothing more than courtesy, but Sophia took it as special favor. Pulling out the seat at the hostess's right side, she sat proudly, leaving Grace on the left. Among 6 refined ladies, Sophia greeted only the hostess, ignoring the rest with smug arrogance. Grace simply smiled, amused at the childish display. The conversation flowed lightly around them, while the 2 rivals only nodded or offered polite smiles. Then, from the entrance, a man in a sharp suit approached the table where the ladies sat. Sophia's eyes lit up instantly. "Good evening, everyone," the man said smoothly. "I hope you're enjoying yourselves." "Ethan, is that you?" the hostess exclaimed warmly. "I'm so glad you could come tonight." "Yes, madam." Ethan bowed politely, ever the courteous businessman toward his investor's family. It turned out that Ethan now managed a small design company, with the hostess's family as his primary backer. Truly, the world was small. Fate had a way of forcing people to cross paths again. Ethan came to stand beside Sophia. At once, someone at the table remarked, "My, you two look like such a perfect couple." Sophia's cheeks flushed as she replied, "Thank you, madam." Her heart swelled with satisfaction, especially with Grace there to hear it. For years, Everyone had praised her and Ethan as an ideal pair. She never tired of it. Ethan, however, only smiled faintly. Inside, he was in turmoil. For truth be told, the past 4 years had been torment. Soon after Grace's disappearance, Ethan discovered Sophia's so-called illness had been a lie. Every detail had been fabricated. He had wanted to leave her, but in a moment of weakness, he yielded. And when her family discovered it, they forced him to take responsibility. To avoid scandal, his own family agreed to the marriage. But that marriage was no happiness. Sophia's deception haunted him. When he thought of leaving, she threatened suicide, even once cutting her own wrist. Bound by pressure from both families, Ethan endured in silence, regretting deeply the woman he had lost. "I think so too," another lady agreed, before turning with a smile to the young woman on her left. "Don't you agree, Grace?" The name struck Ethan like thunder. His eyes snapped toward her. Grace, seated calmly, met his gaze with a sweet smile, as if untouched by the past. While he sat stunned, she answered without hesitation. "They're quite a pair indeed, birds of a feather, two of a kind." The blunt remark silenced the table. Sophia's face flushed with fury, while Ethan sat frozen in shock. It was obvious Grace's words were meant as scorn, not praise. "Grace, why would you say that? Do you know them?" the hostess asked curiously. "Yes, I know them, Mother," Grace replied with a gentle smile. The words landed like a thunderclap. Mother? Everyone had known Grace as an orphan. Could it be that during her disappearance, she had reunited with her family? Sophia's mind reeled in disbelief. She turned again to Grace, only to meet her rival's victorious smile. As for Ethan, it felt as though lightning had struck him, paralyzed, unable to move. Fate had brought them together again, but this time, the balance of power had shifted completely.